just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar. Oh, honey, honey. You are my candy girl.
Oh dear.
Welcome back to CVM at Sunrise. A high sugar diet boosts your odds of tooth decay, heart disease, and diabetes, not to mention weight gain. Deborah Chen, the Executive Director of the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, is in-house with us this morning to tell us how to watch our sugar intake. Welcome to CVM
Thank
at
you
Sunrise.
so much for allowing us to come again.
I feel compelled to explain by way of an apology to the viewers. I am a sugar junkie. And when I heard that song a while ago play, and when you see what is displayed here, just understand that it's part of my therapy and my recovery while I was laughing. Deborah, over to you and tell me.
No, and then this is where I leave because I don't know. This is, okay, so sugar. Is it really bad for us, Deborah?
In excess, yes. And you're only allowed recommended daily allowance. What has been, by evidence and scientific research, showed to be an amount that will not harm your health for the day is 9 teaspoons for men and 6 for ladies. But the problem is a lot of what we eat, especially and drink, especially sugary sweetened beverages, one drink is more than the entire 9. So, for example, if we can look here, we have here the average size small juice or soft drink, sugary sweetened beverage bottle.
Right.
But in this are 12 teaspoons of sugar, which is equivalent to this.
Oh my goodness.
So if I said to you, would you take a teaspoon now and start eating the sugar? You wouldn't. But if I gave you a sugary sweetened beverage, you probably could drink it by the time we finish talking here.
Before.
But because it is liquid,
This amount.
in that, right. But because it's liquid, it just goes down and it doesn't have the same taste as if you were to have this by itself.
I mean,
no.
there is no way anybody could sit down and physically feed themselves with this much
But they
sugar
do every single time.
without realizing
No.
it.
Yeah,
But
they don't
is
realize.
one, if I have 3 sodas, you're telling me I'm
3
having...
times that. Every single day. It's 60% obesity in Jamaica. It is a crisis. It is not just sugary sweetened beverages. Other foods have it as well. And we have to, so it's a whole encompassing thing. The thing with the drink is that we drink all day long. You might have a piece of cake now and again.
Correct. That's why
So
I said...
if for one day you drink this amount of liquid,
Which is
just generally
possible, and it is
liquid,
possible.
whatever it is, coffee, tea, soft drinks, fruit juice. But if every single time for the day you drink this amount, it is a sugary sweetened beverage, by the end of the day, you would have had 52 teaspoons of sugar, which is what is represented here.
No, man. Hold on. So you're saying this, which is very possible because this, a cup of soda as well, because that, how many milliliters?
500.
This is 500. So you're talking about 3 to 4
4 times that.
of these.
Right.
And we are consuming
If you have a 2, roughly, because you know there are slight variations, but if you have a 2, if you drink 2 liters of liquid a day, and every time you drink it is a sugary sweetened beverage, some are a little less, some are a little more, but on average.
Right.
All right, if you want to say it's 40 teaspoons, I mean, that's crazy. Even if you want to say, okay, your drink didn't have 12 teaspoons, it had 9, because some have less and some may have 9. So at the end of the day, this is the amount. Now, would you fill these teaspoons and eat it for the day?
I don't even think I would be able to sit down the discipline of spooning 52 teaspoons of soup, let alone...
But even the concept of having the raw sugar and doing that even 2, 3 times is overwhelming.
Yeah, but because it's liquid, you see, you don't really realize. And the other thing, it doesn't have nutrients.
Because it's liquid, because it's flavorful, because it's
fizzy sometimes.
It's fizzy.
We've been accustomed to a certain taste.
You tell yourself that you're hungry, so you need a quick pickup.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And we have, our culture is the sweet and salt culture, as how I describe it.
Yes.
You know, a little salt on this, sugar in that, and that's how it is. But many of us have been having sugar from we're babies. Yeah. My question is, say you've presented this to me, and mind you, I've heard it before, and I still drink and I still continue. But I just a couple of days ago, you know, me slice my pear
Right.
And I normally sprinkle my salt.
Right.
And I said, I'm not going to sprinkle salt today. No, it was just one go.
Yeah.
And I've not done that.
Right.
Mind you, I put salt on my breadfruit yesterday. But the thing is, if I want to stop,
Yes.
how do I really stop this habit that I've been doing for some,
well, the first thing is, it's
16 years?
Well, you know what? It's not that you can't have salt and sugar, though. It's not that you can't. It's just that you have to keep within allowance. You see what so even the salt, a little sprinkling, you're allowed up to 1 flat teaspoon of salt a day, all told. Meaning, you know, in various things. A day.
We cook with salt.
And then we add it at the table.
And we do.
And we cook with sugar, too.
Yes, we do.
We put it in the rice and peas and in the various things.
So on,
yes. So the thing to do is to just, it's not that you can't have these things. It's moderation and being aware. So, okay, you wish to have, I wouldn't recommend a full sugar sweetened beverage because that's way over the limit. But let us say you want to have half a sugar sweetened beverage and you really like it. Okay, but then balance it again, the other sugar for the rest of the day. It's not that you can't have it, but you have to balance it. But the thing is, you can't have one whole one. It's way above the allowance.
Deborah, I mean, you've brought these charts which help to take the point home.
Yeah.
I mean, just to count up the amount of teaspoons, which would be in your normal, regular soda bottle, right, or equivalent.
Yes, yeah.
And that's not all of it, because in addition to having this, we would normally be having this while eating something else that has a kind of label, like the one that's next to you.
So as we know, labels are sort of complicated looking, and in fact they're being revised now. But at least the most important thing is serving size. So let us say you have, and this is not just sugary sweetened beverage, of course, this is any food, any food kind. The first thing is how many servings is in the tin or the pot that you are eating. If it says 2, then you have to double everything. So, for example, this particular, made-up label has 250 calories in this particular thing, but it has 2 servings. So if you ate the entire pack of whatever this items was, you would have had 500 calories. Now, remember, the average person is, let us say, 2,000. Now, some people are less, diabetics, weight loss, but let us work with 2,000 on average, right? And if you notice, at the bottom of the labels, we do have what the allowances are for a 2 and a 2,500 calorie diet. But just to make it simple, look at the serving size and look how many are in it. So in this case, it's 2. Then you go down the list, right? You are mentioning sodium. This has 300 milligrams of sodium. Now, the label does tell you what % of your full amount for the day this is, It's the 20%. So the 20% of the daily
that would be 20% times 2.
Right, exactly, 40. If you have the full container or box or package or whatever it comes in.
Deborah, you know I have the full pack.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. And that is what, to me, is misleading.
Right there.
To me, when they put serving size, it should be what could normally be consumed at one sitting. Because then the people don't realize. All we are trying to do at the Heart Foundation is inform people so that they can make their healthy choice based on what they want to have.
Provide the information.
That's what we're trying to do.
Deborah, yesterday morning we spoke with Tamau Davidson from the Ministry of Health. And while she was speaking, I was remembering some of what you and Mrs. Mafood had said last time you were here. Now seeing the label and you pointing it out, color coding it as you have done, what are our options? To someone like me who wants to cut down my daily intake of sugar.
So you have to start reading labels. That's the first thing. You have to, and even if you pick out, let us say salt and sugar, you mentioned salt, those are the 2 common ones. There's other things like fat, but for purposes of this discussion. So at least you can start by going down the thing, and it says sugars. Now this particular label had 5 grams of sugar, which is 10, because we multiply, so that's 10. No, that is about 2.5 teaspoons, because it's 4 grams of sugar in 1 teaspoon. So whatever this item was, you have 2.5 teaspoons of sugar. So maybe you could have had the whole box or a packet of this, 2.5, and minus it from 9 or 6. You still have a little way to go.
Except I'm washing it down with
That's how you've already done 12.
Maybe you need to buy, if you really insist on a sugary sweetened beverage, this small size. Okay? And then, once the consumer begins demanding these things, the manufacturers will fall in line. The things will be smaller. The sugar content will be less, because not all of them have this amount of sugar. If you read your label, you have some flavored waters and some other things that have 9 teaspoons instead of 12. I mean, 9 is still at the top end of a meal allowance. So I think then it will have to be driven. But I think what is happening now is that the public do not have any idea what they are consuming. And I think if they had the information, they could then make an informed choice. I'm not saying it's easy. the first thing to do, I would say, is to cut down slowly and just manage what you're doing. So if you normally have a sugary sweetened beverage, for example, well, don't have it for every single meal for the day.
You know, Deborah, one of the things I want to make well, we were discussing this before the break, and
Yes.
as a parent,
Yes.
there are also many juices that
Definitely.
that are in the market that say they're this and fruity
Yeah.
this and fruity that with fruits on
Yeah.
the labeling, and the sugar content is way too high for a child. So you mentioned the allowance
Absolutely.
for male and female, but how does the numbers differ for a
So
young
for a child between, I don't know the age offhand, but say between 3 and 6 teaspoons for maybe the older child, but 3 teaspoons. But the parents, what you need to do is go to the section on the label that says sugar and look how many grams are here. And remember 4 in 1. 4 grams of sugar in 1 teaspoon. So if you remember the number 4, and if you just multiply this amount of sugar by the serving size, and then remember that it's divided by 4. I know it's complicated,
Right.
but it's the only way to do it. So you go to the sugars, multiply it by the serving size, and divide by 4. 4 in 1. 4 grams in 1 teaspoon. 4 in 1. And then you can figure out, remember, even natural juices from the tree, which are excellent,
Still
have sugar.
Correct.
But it's good sugar, meaning it has fiber and
Right.
minerals and vitamins. This type of thing we're talking about has no nutrient value whatsoever.
Just a source of sugar.
Source
It's a source
sugar.
of sugar and calories. But when you go and juice a mango, that's a different thing. Now, you do have some 100% fruit juices, that is good. But and those are better. But just recall that that they have sugar just the same.
Yeah.
So still, you can give them 100% fruit juices, but still, you still need to be conscious of the sugar content, though that is good.
And how much is the allowance per
Per
day?
day. Right.
Per day.
Right.
Oh my.
Why Deborah come mash up my life?
I'm sitting here
My
and
Lord.
I'm imagining my
just looking at this.
favorite snacks on the table.
Yeah.
And how much teaspoons of sugar. And I am going to be very honest. I'm not one of those persons that can just have one snack. As a matter of fact, on Saturday, I was somewhere and one of the young ladies participating in the activity just simply asked, "Isn't that your third pack?" And I was like, "Yes, so what of it?" You know, but
You have to be careful. And you know, I mean, of course, the biggest, the sugar sweetened beverages are the biggest contributor to obesity. I mean, there's other factors, of course, it's multifactorial, but if we were to single one out, but even if you are not overweight, it's not good heart health to be having all this amount of sugar. Just sugar like this, you know, the calories are empty calories. So you may be getting your calories for the day, but
get
you're not
that
getting the
spike.
nutrients with
Right.
it.
And another thing, there are persons who are very health conscious and they speak to other type of sweeteners. Are there any such that, or is this the same situation? So people might be, you know, sweetening their beverages with a little honey, and somebody going to say,
All right, so I'm glad you brought it up, because if we look on the poster with the bottle there, at the bottom you see high fructose corn syrup.
Correct.
yes.
You see sucralose. You
Yes.
have other things like maple syrup and honey. Now, sugar is sugar is sugar, right? Okay? So we can't, and salt is salt is salt. Sea salt is salt is salt, okay? That
just
is
mash
just
me up.
prettying it up, right? When it comes to alternative sweeteners, the evidence is not conclusive. You know, there are some other non-sugar sweeteners that we
Yes.
hear about. The scientific evidence is mixed and not conclusive. So I really can't sit here and say, well, yes or no, just to say that it's not conclusive at this time, the other sweeteners. But certainly, all those other things, high fructose, it's still sugar.
You know, another thing, Deborah, that we grew up hearing, tell me once and for all, is there any health difference in granulated sugar and raw brown sugar?
Well, sugar is still sugar. I mean, I think the less refined, the better for sure.
Yeah.
But sugar is still sugar when it comes to the calories and
how
so
your
on.
body
And you still
processes
can't
it.
have more brown sugar than you have white sugar, so your number wouldn't go up from 9 to 12 just because it's
brown sugar, yeah.
But you know, it can be done. It's just that over time, if you think back to maybe your childhood or your parents' childhood, we didn't used to have this in excess, you know. It's not that you can't have these things, you know. We're talking about excess.
Yes.
And taking into account that, listen, you cannot exercise away a poor diet, but exercise is good. It's good. You know how much exercise you'd have to do to get rid of one bottle of soft drinks? So what I'm saying, it's a holistic thing.
Yeah.
You really do need to have physical activity as well, but it's not going to compensate for a really bad diet. You need to, okay, if you want to have your sugary sweetened beverage now and again, have a smaller portion, but bear in mind, then don't have that and then have 3 pieces of cake or some sugary snacks later on. You have to balance.
And sugar is also considered in alcoholic beverages as well.
Yes, so you have, yes, exactly.
So you're doing that and you're having your wines, you're having your beers, and you're having these things.
So it's the whole thing. It's just about healthy choices, looking at your day and saying, okay, now what am I gonna use my calories on today? You know, I really, really like a sugary sweetened beverage. I'm gonna have like half a cup or something.
Right.
Now, that means I've gone like 4 teaspoons. So what am I gonna do with the other 4 teaspoons?
Four
Bear in
of
mind,
9.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
remember that a lot of the tin stuff you buy too, you have to check it. You have to check
sugars
everything.
will be present because it provides a preservative.
And when you eat outside of home, it's very hard to
You
know.
have no label.
Right. Some of the restaurants in the US are starting to put caloric information
on
and
the
so
menu.
on. It's very hard for you to know what exactly you're getting. So when you're trying to stick, you're not going to make your life regimented, but just in principle. But if you had the information and you knew what you were eating, you would then choose wisely. When you don't have the information and you think that something marked juice, and maybe the only juice in it is a picture on the label. I mean, you know, we have to, I just think that the public, we're just trying to just bring some clarity to the situation, to give the public information, and then they can make informed choices.
Well, I must say, Deborah, the first step is having the information.
Yes.
Most consumers are shopping for a different bit of information, which is the cost.
Yeah, of
How
course.
much does this product cost?
Yes.
And I join the plea as a recovering sugar abuser myself, that in addition to looking on the cost, the price, how much this item costs, look at the nutritional label. In fact, I'm going to even commit to start looking on the nutritional label first and then looking on the price, because I'll tell you something, medication ain't cheap.
No, well, I was going to say, you may save at one and you think, and you're going to cost. I mean, would parents knowingly commit their children to diabetes and heart disease?
Which is why...
And cancer, because obesity does promote some cancers.
Yes.
Would you knowingly give your child something that can lead to obesity? I mean, on a regular basis, we're talking now. Knowing that when they're 30 years old, because the heart attacks are getting younger, 30 or 40, they're going to have diabetes. I don't think so.
Right.
So it's just that we don't have the information. We really don't have the information.
Deborah, thank you for this capsule of information. And of course, we look forward always to your visits.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate the directness and the candidness.
And we thank CVM a lot, because really we don't have funds to be able to get the message out as much, and really you're really helping your viewers by at least giving them this information today.
So Deborah, if someone wants to get more information and try and capture what you just went through, how can they find that information?
Well, well, we have a website, but if they call the Heart Foundation, 926-6492, we're at 28 Beechwood Avenue, and 926-4378, we will try and see how we can work together. We're actually just starting a project now with this, and we're going to be putting more stuff on our website that people can download free.
Lovely,
excellent.
lovely.
We go to the break, more CVM at Sunrise, and more of this kind of information when we get back.